You are tuned to ARP on the Accelerated Radio Network. It's 12 noon, and it's time to have lunch. Lunch with the Finance Bunch. Lunch with the Finance Bunch. Lunch with the Finance Bunch. Bringing money talk you can understand. And now here's your host, Miss Charline.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Lunch with the Finance Bunch. This is Miss Charline, and today in our studio we have Germaine Ninete. She is with State Farm Insurance, and we're so happy to have you here today.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here.
How you doing?
I am doing phenomenal.
Wow. So Germaine is going to talk to us about the importance of insurance,
Right.
how important it is to have it, the different types of insurance that are available, and share some of her personal life. How about that?
Oh, that sounds great.
Okay. So not how long have you been with State Farm, but what made you decide to become an insurance agent?
Well, actually, it started with the whole life insurance part.
Oh, okay.
So I went through some obstacles and challenges in my life and lost a lot of family members to where I experienced financial hardship and did not know the benefit or the importance of having life insurance. So with that said, I branched out from my other career that I love to do, which I'll talk about that later.
Okay.
And I just wanted to learn about it. So I pretty much educated myself, did research, and why State Farm is I just wanted to, represent and be able to be there for my family and friends on, one of the number one companies out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Insurance is very important, and you want to be in a position to not need it, but have it just in case.
Absolutely.
And I noticed that sometimes we don't want to talk about insurance because it challenges our mortality.
It does.
It's the things that we don't want to think about, but are very, very important because we are mortals, right? So that means that we have an expiration date. Right? And so this is really important, and so I'm so happy that you wanted to come on and talk about this subject because we do need to be educated in this area.
Absolutely.
Right? And so there's a lot of things about insurance that most of us don't understand, when we're purchasing it. So it'll be a great way of educating my audience.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
thank you.
Oh, no. I'm happy to be here, like I said.
So let's talk a little bit about you. Since this is your first time on the show, we want to kind of get to know you a little bit.
Okay.
So first of all, I heard you say that you didn't start out in insurance. You had a different career before.
Right.
So what was that career?
Well, I still do that. I health coach. My another one of my passion is nutrition and how should I say this? Educating my family and friends on how to become healthier or prevent diseases and stuff like that. Yeah.
Nice.
I love it. Well, I come from a background that back in the day, like when my parents were alive, having diabetes and being overweight was their norm, and it's not normal.
Right.
So if I just again educated myself to find easier ways or better ways to eat and consume food to keep them alive a little bit longer.
Yes. So that does lead into, protecting your health and all of that leads into protecting your family with insurance. So I see the gateway.
You do.
Yeah. Wow,
and
that's
again,
great.
and I didn't know that I was going to go towards the life insurance until I recently lost my mom. I got fed up of losing a lot of loved ones, and, there's always that one person in the family that the responsibility is going to drop on.
Right.
Exactly.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting emotional. But
no, it's okay.
And so there had to be a better way.
Yes. Yeah. And, it's unfortunate, but sometimes in our communities, we concern ourselves with everything except that.
The inevitable.
The inevitable. Exactly. Because certainly as sure as you are born, there's going to come a day when you're no longer here, and you don't want to burden your family with, they're already brokenhearted. So you don't want to add burden to that broken heart, right?
Exactly.
And so I do want to know a little bit about insurance.
Okay.
So as a life insurance agent, are you interested? What made you join State Farm?
Well, in all honesty, I was actually, some of my friends knew I was inquiring about life insurance, and I was getting recruited from other companies that I will not mention. Okay. But I did my research, and again, I built these connections with the clients that I have, and had being a health coach. And like I said, I want to be able to help them. And I know usually money is the issue. It's hard to invest in something that they're really, not sure about or what have you. And then with State Farm, I did find, their give back is a lot more than a lot of companies out there. And we are the #1 in JD Powers. So I wanted to work for State Farm. Okay. I wanted to be a part of that.
Okay. So you did your research.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Nice. What services and products does your company or do you provide?
Other than
So
we're also a bank. We give college credit cards, like college students that are trying to establish their credit. We're there to help them and educate them on the importance of that too. So I love that part. I didn't know back then what the importance of credit when I was a student. We do refinances on homes, of course, auto. That's what State Farm's usually known for. Yeah, we have health insurance as well.
Okay. And so, but your focus is life insurance.
Yes.
Life insurance.
Absolutely.
So what are the different types of life insurance that are available?
So there's term and a permanent. Now, a term is exactly what it says. It's term. So there's a 10-year, a 20-year, a 30-year, and usually the premiums are lower than a permanent. Now, the permanent is forever. You can have that policy forever. And then there's types that where I didn't know this, my younger years, that a permanent you put money into and you accumulate cash value. Now, that's your money. You also have the opportunity to take that cash value without, paying it back. That's your money. So a lot of people feel that life insurance is just when you die and it goes to your beneficiary. No, there's others that can build cash value as well.
Oh, okay. And so on term life, you're saying that may be a less expensive way to go, but that has an expiration date. So
absolutely,
it's 10 years, 20 years, or 30 years. Right.
Right.
And so who do you suggest, or who do you think would be more apt to get that type of insurance?
It would definitely depend on the individual. Any coverage is better than no coverage.
Right.
So whatever works for them, and I would just lay out what we have, whatever works for them,
So you sit down and you do a one-on-one with the person.
Absolutely.
Or with the family, and then you explain each type of insurance and what the cost would be. Right?
Yes, absolutely.
And then you work out so that it's workable in their budget.
Right.
So that they don't have to go without insurance.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Whatever works for them. Like the one that I feel is good for me and my daughter could be completely different for somebody else. And I would hate to just throw them a policy and here you go, rather than explain it to them.
Right.
Yeah.
The thing that I noticed about you is that you've, and this is something that I love getting across to the audience, you have incorporated your passions into a business.
Right.
And I think that's very important for business owners, is to incorporate your passion into what you do, because then it doesn't seem like work. Right? It's a mission.
Right.
And yes, there is a cash value to that mission, but it's your passion, so you don't mind doing it. You want to learn as much about it as you can, and you want to be as helpful as you can. So I wanted to make that point.
Thank you.
So I love the fact that you're doing your passion. Right?
Yeah.
And so you have a child.
Yes.
You have a daughter?
Yes.
Okay. So how old is your daughter?
She's 20.
Oh, that's not a little girl. That's a grown woman.
She's still a baby to me.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how important is it to you as a mom to make sure that your daughter understands the importance of health and insurance and things like that?
Well, I think with her seeing what we've been through and what her mom's been through, she knows the value and the importance of it. And to prevent her having to go through what I did when my parents and sisters and ex-boyfriend passed, all within the same, time frame, she knows the value of it, because she's seen me trying to do fundraisers, selling things and stuff just to come up with the money, just to have a proper burial. Because I really think people do not know, unless they recently buried someone, how costly a minimum bottom of the burial can possibly cost, because it could be anywhere from $20,000 and up.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah. And it's a short amount of time that you have to get that amount of money in. So people are exhausting their savings, their investment accounts, credit cards, all of that, credit cards, to get the money together. Exactly. And it's an emotional time.
You shouldn't be thinking about that. You want, to lay them down in peace and not being stressed out, So, and, also putting one in place for myself, I just want to be able to leave her that little cushion, because even though she's 20, I want to be able to leave her some financial cushion to pursue her dreams, goals, and aspirations and stuff like that, to be able to leave that legacy behind. And from there, I know if she has kids, she's going to know their importance, so it's going to go down the line.
Yeah. So you're starting like a generational pattern to replace the one that was there. Wow. Yeah. That's impactful.
Yeah.
That's really impactful. So as an insurance agent, how do people find you, or do you find them? How does that work?
Well, lately, I haven't had to go out and look for people. It's just been referrals, referrals based. They love the feeling, how I care about people, and State Farm is a reputable company, it pretty much sells itself, shall I say. So, and a lot of people are satisfied with the service, and then they'll refer their family and friends and stuff like that. But I just talk to people,
right?
Now,
when you started doing insurance, do you have a mentor?
I for years I've always believed that having a mentor is very important. Like, I listen to Les Brown, Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins, and get my mindset intact.
Definitely.
For challenging days, to where you get rejected when you talk to people and stuff like that. So I like to say they're my mentors.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, you pick some powerful mentors.
Right?
Yeah. That's the way to go. If you're going to pick a mentor, go right to the source, right?
Right. Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah.
So do you listen to a lot of, tapes and
I listen to a lot of tapes, YouTube, books, or I go to seminars, stuff like that. Just, first thing in the morning, 30 minutes of personal development.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's key. Could you say that again?
First 30 minutes when you wake up, personal development.
Yeah.
At positive affirmations. So
it starts your day off.
Oh,
right?
yeah. And you bring that energy to other people, and they feel it.
Yeah. So now in your business, is there a space where you feel like, I know I'm making a difference, but I want to make an even bigger difference? You know how that you get to that space?
You get to that comfort zone.
And you need to
every day.
Okay.
I'm like, I only talk to 4 people. I need to go talk to more. I need to, help families. Yeah. Pretty much every day. And I look forward to every day, honestly, because I look forward to meeting new people and helping more families.
And it's your passion.
Yeah.
So I just want to say this to the audience. Again, when you're picking something to do, because, there's a lot of people who watch YouTubes and they're trying to figure out what they're going to do with their lives. This is something that you may want to consider, insurance, because it's a knowledge-based business, right? Because you have to, and would you like to tell us about the journey to becoming an agent? How do you become an insurance agent?
Well, I needed to take some classes, and of course the state exam. Having to take the state exam was kind of challenging, to be quite honest. I haven't had to take a test since college.
Right.
What? But I remembered why I was doing it. So it became easy, because that's what I wanted to do.
Right.
I stepped back a little bit, and did I want to give up? Not so much give up, but I'm like, gosh, I have to take a test. I have to pay for it too. But then it's all worth it, because you remember your why.
Yeah. Remember your why. Yeah, and that gives you the strength to keep going.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, because sometimes, like when you're venturing into something new, it's scary, especially, all these little thoughts pop up in your head, can I do it? And so you got to kind of keep going, right?
Yeah, you got to keep going. Yeah.
So you take the insurance test, and once you pass it, then you are a licensed insurance agent.
Yeah, for the state of California.
For the state of California.
Yeah. So basically, you can be your independent if you want to, or, work for a company or a firm. It's all up to you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But you are a licensed insurance agent once you pass the test.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, no, actually, you pass the test and then you apply for this with the state. You submit an application, and then they give you your license number.
Okay, so then they do a background check, make sure that you are
who you are.
You're a creditable person.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's important when you're
is.
selling insurance, to have people who are creditable and have the knowledge that's necessary to help people make those kind of important life decisions, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Nice. What else do I want to ask you? Because it's so much.
I know.
so much. Okay, so back to insurance, because I really want people to understand this. So when you have a whole life insurance policy, that's called permanent. So whole life and permanent are the same thing.
Correct.
And so a whole life policy has more than one component.
Correct. It has cash value and a death benefit.
Okay.
So in the event you didn't pass away yet, emergency arises, or you need to get those funds, you have access to those funds.
Okay.
And it accumulates its interest after so many years as well. So some people like to use it as a savings. A lot of clients that I've been working with that have younger kids, they like that type of policy for their kids that are 2, 3, 4, 5, or even under 20.
Right.
Because it's the younger you are, the lower the premiums are.
Oh, okay. And then you can also can you take that money out and use it for things like college?
Exactly. That's one of my clients did that, and I actually put one on my daughter for that purpose as well, just in case.
Just in case, to have the extra money.
Exactly.
Yeah, because that's, for some people, they need that discipline. Because throughout your life, I am a firm believer that you have money that you could have saved, and you don't. And this is a vehicle that, a very moderate vehicle that a person can have that will give them additional money for their future, right? And when we talk about multiple streams of income, this is one of those streams that is income that you're setting aside for the day when you want to use it or need to use it, it's there.
Exactly.
Right. Now, this should not replace any other investments or savings that you have, but in addition to what you have, this might be the way someone would like to proceed. Right. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Okay, I want to make sure I got it right.
Yeah, you got it right. You got it right.
And then with what's the other alternative? Is term. So with term insurance, term life insurance, because it has an expiration date and it's a lower price point, it doesn't have that same component. It doesn't have the savings, the cash value component.
It does not have the cash value.
So if you get a 10-year policy, what happens at the end?
You can you can convert it, but your premiums are probably higher because in 10 years you're going to be a lot older. So the older you are, and the less healthy you are, the premiums go a little bit higher as well.
So a person could get a 30-year policy, and then at the end of that 30 years, as long as they're still here, they could get another 10. They could keep adding on.
Exactly. They can convert it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. To another 10-year or another 20 or...
Right. And now I would want to say this, it just depends on their health. Now, if they're like high risk, stage 4, cancer, which... that's what happened with my mom, and she didn't qualify for life insurance. Okay. Then of course, there's not that many insurance company that would take that risk.
Okay.
So and it's a good idea to get it done as soon as possible.
Right. So you should get it done while you're healthy.
Exactly.
Right.
You got it in. Yeah.
The younger you are, the better, because the less expensive it is.
Right.
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 So, and that's the thing. A lot of young people, they don't see the value because their mortality hasn't been tested.
Yeah.
But to get in and get a really low premium young totally makes sense, right?
Yeah. And for the young people, they're really not educated in this in high school. Anyway, the finances and the importance of, building your own business, going after your, what you like to do and stuff like that. So they're really not educated. So I just feel it comes from home, or your peers, or somebody that's doing it shares it with the younger people.
And here's why I wanted you to come on the show specifically, because there are a lot of small business owners that follow, my page. They watch the YouTube videos and things like that. And for me, they don't have, I sometimes feel like they don't have all of the components that they need because they don't have a job. So there's a lot of jobs that give you life insurance, right, as a part of your package.
Right.
But when you're an entrepreneur, you're so focused on all these different things that life insurance is just not something that you're focused on, and especially in the beginning.
Right.
So to meet with an agent and add this to the things that you do when you set your business up makes sense, because now you're protecting your family, right?
For sure.
Because as an entrepreneur, even if your family is taking over your business, they still need that component to give them room to breathe, so they have a moment to grieve the loss.
Right, absolutely.
Right?
And especially if your income, you have little kids, especially if your income, they were relying on that. And when you pass away, what's going to happen?
Right.
You know, family is the most important thing to most of the people.
That's right.
But we forget that if something happens to us, how do we protect them?
That's right. That's right. So as a small business owner, they are definitely a community that needs to see you.
Yeah.
And sit down with you and talk to you. So I want to find out if someone is listening to this and they want to know how to get in contact with you, what do they need to do? They
can find me on Facebook, my first and last name, Germaine Ninete. I do have Instagram. It's not my business one. It's just a personal one. It's Pineapple342.
Okay.
They can follow me that way or message me that way.
Is there a phone number that they can reach you
Absolutely. It's 626-393-0097.
Okay. Yeah, because that's important to, when they're watching this, to be able to say, let me write her phone number down. Let me get in contact with her and just ask questions. And I also want to put it out there, when you are sitting down with someone to talk to them about insurance, there's no fee involved in having a conversation.
Oh, absolutely
right?
not. Just have a conversation. No fee at all.
Right, because I think some people feel like, they feel like they're obligated. Like if they sit down with you, it's like it's going to cost them something. Like they're obligated to, I got to write a check at the end. But it's for education.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. No,
education.
It's absolutely free.
So it's free.
It's free
to come and sit down and have a conversation with Germaine. She will talk to you about your insurance.
Yes.
And you can decide from there how to proceed.
Exactly.
But it's very important to proceed. Right?
Right.
Yeah. So if you had one thing that you would like for the audience to know, what would that be? Like if you had one message to share, what would that message be? Because, and let's just talk about the things that you've experienced before we go to that. Because you said you've experienced a lot of loss in your life. And if you could share just a little bit of that with us.
Okay.
Would you share a little bit of that with us?
Absolutely. I lost my best friend, which was my father. So, sorry, it's so hard to talk about.
No, I know.
I rarely talk about it, but it's important. So after not even getting over, the loss of my boyfriend, I didn't know how I was going to pay for my father's funeral. Right. And I had, previous to that, when my sisters were younger, we lost them too. Sorry, I'm mumbling, but they're buried at All Souls Cemetery. So I went to All Souls Cemetery. When they told me how much a plot was, I froze. Literally sat there and was just wondering, how am I going to make this possible? Right. So I'm blessed with love and support from family. Of course, in our culture, it's called chichuli. Our family, gives money, and that's how we help one another and stuff like that. We had a fundraiser, a celebration of life, and we were able to just come up with just enough. But even then, I was exhausted. Now, am I upset? at my father that he didn't have one in place? Absolutely not. Because I know if he was educated to, I'm the most important thing to him. Right. He would have got one.
Exactly.
I know that for a fact. So that's why I do what I do.
Yes.
Is because I want to help educate families and stuff like that. Right. To not be in the situation that
you were in.
And then a couple years later, my mom, and I'm barely recuperating from
that.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if you had one message to give people who are sitting and watching this video, and they're so uncomfortable, what would that message be?
Can I be blunt?
Be blunt.
And this is just, I used to always say, family is the most important thing to me, but I thought it was such a selfish thing to do not to protect myself and them by not getting a policy prior to this life experience. Yes. So family is the most important thing to you. Make sure you protect them and don't put that financial burden on any one of your family members. Yeah. Because that's we put insurance on our cars in case we get in an accident, insurance on our phone in case it breaks. Well, guess what? We're alive. And that's a guaranteed fact that we're going to die. So we need to have a policy in place.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sorry.
No, it's the truth. It's the truth. No, I wanted you to make it blunt because, like I said, people don't get it until it happens. And then it's too late.
And then a lot of times they say they can't afford it. Well, if we can't afford $30 a month now, can you imagine your family being able to afford over $20,000 when something happens to you?
Wow. That's insane. Yeah. So
anyway, sorry.
So good. No, really. That's good because that's what this is about.
Right.
Is the education of what we need as human beings so that we don't put added pressure on those we leave behind. Because eventually, if you're blessed enough to have a family, at some point, you're going to leave somebody.
Right.
And you don't want that person or people to have to endure the pain of the loss and then the pain of trying to figure it out.
Right.
Yeah. So thank you for your message.
You're welcome.
It was powerful, but it was necessary.
You're welcome.
So I want to get to a little lighter side of things.
Okay.
And we ask everyone who comes and, bless us with their presence. We ask them some questions about themselves and what they feel about money.
Okay.
And so I'd love to ask you those questions.
Okay.
How about that? Okay.
Awesome.
So what do you consider, or how would you describe wealth?
Health. If you're healthy, you're wealthy.
I love it. I love it, love it, love it.
Freedom, time freedom, being able to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Of course, having the financial cushion. But yeah, ultimately to me it's health and freedom.
Wow. Yeah. That's right. Now, what do you believe that wealth is derived from? Is it a mindset, or how do you feel?
Oh, it's absolutely a mindset. If you wake up thinking you're not wealthy, then you're not wealthy. If you wake up thinking you're wealthy, then you're wealthy.
Yeah.
It's absolutely a mindset.
How do you describe that mindset? Because I think you touched on it a little bit when you said how you start your day.
Oh, excited. Just wake up feeling blessed and how do I describe that? Positive, be excited of what you want to do, give to others, impact other people's lives and stuff like that. It's just positive.
And it starts mindset. With the what you do when you first wake up in the morning, right?
Oh, the affirmation. Yes, how I start my day. Yeah. Talk about yourself, what you are, and personal development. Get that strong mindset going from other people that's done it.
To start your day with positive affirmations.
Yes.
Yeah, because if you don't affirm who you and what you are, by the time you leave that front door, people will define you for you. So you have to
that want to break you down when you're doing good.
Exactly. So you better have a good, strong foundation of who you are before you close that door of safety from your house and go out into the world.
That's the truth.
Yeah. So definitely, I like your definition of wealth. Wealth is health, because without your health, you're right. What is it to have money if you're not? Yeah. If you're not healthy. So let's take better care of ourselves. Okay, this is the part of the show we call our balance sheet. So This is the good part. So in the balance sheet, we ask questions, and it's just 5 questions, I think. And so let's see how you answer these questions. What is the most memorable paycheck you've ever had?
My first one, doing life insurance. Only because it was effortless. It was just doing something that I like to do, and I actually got rewarded, financially from that, other than, helping other people. So that was my most rewarding one. Like, really? I get a check?
Right. And it like validated. Like, right. Yeah.
I can do this? Yeah.
Yeah. So. Isn't it great when you get paid for doing something you love?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
It doesn't feel like work.
No. You almost feel like, oh my God, they're giving me money for something I love doing. I like this part.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel the same way. I feel the same way. I really feel like people should live and work their passion because the money will come from that.
Right.
You don't even have to worry about it. The money will come.
Right.
If you're pursuing your passion and you're doing what you have, what God gave you as a gift or talent.
Right.
And everybody doesn't sing and dance. I wish I knew how to do either one of those, but I don't. But there are other gifts and talents that we have that we need to use because they'll be profitable not only to ourselves, but to the people whose lives we impact.
Absolutely.
Right? Whew. So, what is the most regretful purchase that you've made? What is a purchase that you've made that you just go, why did I buy that?
Probably a pair of shoes I did not need to go with all the other shoes that I did not need.
Or you buy a pair of shoes and they're so pretty and they hurt, right?
What the heck? Yeah. I got a wide foot, but I didn't need to spend that much money. Yeah, probably that.
A pair of shoes. Well, that's good, because if that's the worst thing you've done, that's good.
Right.
What do you wish you knew back then that you know now?
To you. Okay. Sorry, I get emotional.
Yeah.
What I wish I knew back then that I know now, that all my challenges and obstacles were happening for me and not to me, that I wasn't the victim. I am where I am today for all of those obstacles and challenges that happen.
Yes.
I should have applied that to help other people back then, but that's okay because I'm doing that now.
Because you're doing it now.
Yeah.
But we come to a space in our lives where we realize that, and that's the space where we get to help others.
Exactly.
Right?
Use that as fuel.
Use it as fuel to help other people.
Yeah.
This is a good conversation. I'm enjoying this. Okay. How would you describe success?
Achieving the goals you set out. To me, I set out small goals, I set out big goals, and I just feel like, you do what it takes to achieve them, and that's part of success to me.
Okay.
As well.
So do you feel that you're successful?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Isn't that a good feeling?
Yeah. It feels great.
Yeah. Okay. If you won wait, let me ask you one question before that. Is there anything that keeps you up at night?
What keeps me up at night? I don't know. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, that's good. If there's nothing that keeps you up at night, that's good. That's really good. People stay up for strange reasons. I fall asleep unintentionally. Yeah. So there you go.
Well, I just try to get well rested as much as I can because I know I have a big day the next day and I get excited for that.
So do you make sure, because since you're a health advocate too, is there a certain amount of hours that you try to make sure you sleep?
Yeah, at least 6.
Okay.
At least 6.
Okay, so I'm in the good zone then. I sleep 6 hours.
6,
okay.
Preferably 8 like everybody knows, but at least 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a little health tip that you got as a bonus. And now, if you won the lottery, what would you do with the money?
Gosh, I think about that all the time. What would I do with the money? Oh, man. Buy a house on Guam? No, I'm kidding.
No, seriously.
I would probably buy my family's house on Guam. Okay. Make everybody be able to go there and visit. Because we have a huge family. And it's challenging getting out there. Yeah, I guess I'll start with that.
To buy a house on Guam, right? That everybody could go and visit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great. Can I go?
Yeah, come on.
Okay, yeah.
I just won the lottery. We can go.
I love it. So I have a trip to Guam to plan. Yes. Now, I just want to say this. When you have a professional come on, when I have a professional come on the show, and they talk about such a serious subject as insurance, you know, I was anticipating this conversation being like, oh my goodness, how are we going to get through this? But I want to thank you because you made this conversation so much more palatable and so much more easy to have. Mm-hmm. So I thank you for coming on and having this conversation with us and teaching us about insurance, but from a space where we could absorb it. You're welcome. I appreciate you.
Oh, you're welcome. I appreciate having this opportunity.
Oh, you're coming back. We're going to have you back on the show, definitely.
Good.
Definitely, because I think it's important that we share this kind of information.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, that's a wrap. That's a wrap. Yeah. And this is Miss Charline, Lunch with the Finance Bunch. And again, I want to thank you, Germaine, for coming on.
Oh, you're welcome.
With your information about insurance. Please check her out. She has so much information to share in a way that you can absorb it, make decisions, and know that it's not going to cost you that much per month. And you want to do that so that you don't have to go what Germaine says she's been through, trying to come up with large sums of money quickly at a time when you are not in the emotional state to do it. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yay, that's a wrap.